Hi, Dr. Preeti. Prana here.
Hi, Prana.
Hi, we can hear your voice very clearly. So, yeah, we'll just start with a few minutes. It's very
Yes,
clear.
Prana. Yes, Prana. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Preeti ma'am, would you like to test the screen share or is it?
I had just done it. I think let me do it again.
Okay, yeah. Divya, can you please stop our share?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Is it okay?
Yes, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
We can-
Okay.
Or you can just share that screen, ma'am. So, my dear friends, whoever has joined us, please sit in meditation for a few minutes and we'll start the session soon. As you all know, sit in a comfortable posture, cross your legs, clasp your hands, and observe your natural, normal breath. Let go of all the worries and tensions and completely relax and be open to take this great wisdom from a great master. Just relax yourself and be in the moment. Couple of more minutes. Keep observing your natural, normal breath. If any thought arises in your mind, just come back to your breath. Do not give any energy to that thought. Just be an observer and observe that natural flow of your breath, which is the source of all life. Okay, my dear friends, whenever you're ready, gently release your hands and place them on your eyes for a few seconds. And slowly and gently open your eyes. Hello, everyone. Today is the third day of Reinventing Relationships workshop. And today we have a special speaker. She is Dr. Preeti Kohli. She has done her BHMS and has been a consulting homeopathic physician for over 20 years and a transformational coach for over 11 years. She currently serves as one of the founding members and transformational coach. And she's also a director at the AHA Movement. Through her work, she has touched thousands of lives and has successfully conducted over 200 workshops in alternative healing therapies across the world. She was introduced to meditation and mindfulness at the age of 15 Her keen interest is to understand the body mind soul connection and help people grow holistically. It led her it led her towards learning and practicing other root cause therapies like past life regression, inner child healing, rebirthing breath workshop, and family constellation. One of her passions is to work with parents and kids. She also volunteers to teach meditation for children at schools through her Soul Science Foundation. Today, she'll be talking about healing your relationship with the mother. It is one of the most important relationships for everyone, my dear friends. So let us hear from Preeti Kohli. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prana. Thank you so much for this beautiful workshop that you are doing. I think it's one of the most significant topics that you have taken on for this whole week. And friends, as we know that the spiritual awareness is rising, the divine feminine energies are really coming. Relationships are so important. It is so important to really throw light on our relationships, because really we are not really able to see how to make these changes, bring these changes in our day-to-day life, how to manage relationships. And once we understand what are the dynamics of these spiritual elements in the relationships, it becomes so much more easier to really create a life where we are all peaceful, joyous, and happy. So, a warm welcome to everybody who's joining us here live on YouTube, and all the beautiful friends joining here. And I start again with greeting all the masters, Brahmashi Patriji, and thank you, Prana, for having us here. Friends, just as I start the main topic, I will just go through a little bit of recap for anybody who may be watching this who's new to any of these topics. We all know that we are actually spiritual beings having a physical experience. We are all energy beings. Our true nature is the nature of the soul, and we are all having a physical experience here. Even though when we say, a lot of the times we say that, we start our spiritual journey, but it's really that we start remembering our spiritual journey. And this happens because when we are coming here on the physical plane, there is this law of forgetfulness. We forget that that is our true nature. We only remember ourselves here as maybe this body, maybe this, the profession that you are in, the part of the family that you are. All those things that are physical is first what you remember. You forget your true spiritual nature when we are here initially. And we need to remind ourselves. So this beautiful spiritual journey is really about reminding ourselves. And as we may be living here as these physical beings, living in relationships, living the lives that we are living, we forget our true nature. We start living here as the multidimensional beings, as the more powerful beings, as the creators of our lives. So that's, we are going to really take a deep dive into this topic. And as we start doing that, when we say that we don't remember so many of the things, a lot of the things are also which are connected to our old journey is also there in our unconscious. The psychologists who have been studying the mind, who have also been studying the body, now the doctors who've been studying the body, and they see that the body and mind are actually so connected, it's actually one unit. They also see that just the tip of the iceberg, which is like 5%, is something that is known to us, that's something that we are seeing. It's the conscious mind, whereas 95% is really the unconscious mind. It is something that is hidden away from us. Neither do we see it. Some aspects, even though we may see it, we may not be showing it. So all that things that are there in the 95%, which is the unconscious, is very significant. And why is this significant, friends? As the famous philosopher and the psychotherapist Carl Jung said, unless and until you make the unconscious conscious, it is going to rule your life and you will call it destiny. So it is hidden. But till the time it's hiding, this is also responsible in attracting a lot of things in our life. So when we understand, when we speak about law of attraction, that's a very common term. Most people have heard about it. The law of attraction, we know that whatever we want, we can attract it. And yes, that happens from the conscious mind. But let's not forget that if we are not looking at the unconscious, the stuff that is there in the unconscious also is responsible for attracting a lot of stuff in our life. So what happens is that how do we know that we are attracting things in our life? We know that there are certain laws that are functioning. One, we said law of karma, where whatever you're giving out comes back. This beautiful picture that we found on the internet, where this man is pushing this pile here, and he doesn't know, he wouldn't know. But after some time, when this pile just goes around, you can see this whole circle of these piles of blocks. These piles will go around, and what will happen is maybe in a couple of lives later or sometime later, this block from the right side comes on him. He does not know that I had done this, and it's now coming from the other side, coming back to me. But this is really what law of karma is. Karma, friends, is karma means our action. So all that our actions are there is also going to come back. When we say also law of karma, a lot of the times we also think that there is a punishment that is attached to it. Karma is not punishment, my dear friends. It is just a feedback mechanism. So everything that is there in our lives, we need to start taking it with the attitude of, what am I seeing here? What is it showing to me about my life? Something that I may have done at the level of action, words, or thought. The other thing that we need to pay attention to is the law of resonance. Like I said, the unconscious will also attract. So everything that we will see in our life, we are attracting. So what is happening in our outer world is nothing but a reflection of the inner world. So we need to really start understanding what these relationships, what these things that are happening around me are showing to me about what is happening deep inside my own psyche. Maybe those beliefs, maybe those thought patterns are unconscious right now. But the more we start becoming aware, the more we will start recognizing them. And before I really delve into this topic, this understanding these laws is just because we need to remind ourselves as we understand these laws that we create our reality. We are not victims of the destiny, as though we see that yes, there are some things which come into our life, but now what we start doing helps us to create our reality. So as we will understand today's topic in a deeper way, we need to remind ourselves that today, our past has created what we are today. Whatever may be there in your lives is a result of a lot of past which you may not even remember, which you may not even be aware of. But what you start doing today, you can start changing a lot of things. So, friends, as we said, that soul nature of ours or spiritual nature of ours is there. But when we are coming here, now we're choosing our parents and we are coming into the mother's womb. So, our very, very first connection to this plane is our mother. Inside the womb, actually, we are not even seeing or feeling ourselves as separate. We are like one with the mother. Even after we are born in the infancy stage, which is up to the age of 9 months to 1 year, the child does not recognize that I am separate. The child has this first stage, in this first stage of infancy, the child feels that I and my mother are the same, right? Now, this child here, as they have forgotten their true nature, they are absorbing everything that is there from the mother. So, we are not only absorbing the food, the nutrition, we are also absorbing her emotions, her energy. We are sensing and feeling everything that's going around. So, if mother is upset, if there is something happening between the mother and the father, we'll also be absorbing that. We start absorbing also her pain. And this is the reason why the mother's state during the pregnancy is of utmost importance. In our olden times, the masters always would insist that the mother needs to be happy, she needs to be taken care of, because whatever she is being, it's like the child is like the seed. They're coming, yes, with their own journey. That's the seed. But the soil now that is being provided, the nutrition that's being provided, that's really going to result in also what's going to be shaped up with this child. So our mother is our role model. Whatever that she was feeling, firstly, in the womb, we have absorbed. In the infancy, when she is looking at us, how she is feeling about us, we will start feeling the same way about ourselves. For example, if you're a girl and if she was wanting a boy, so she is maybe not really saying it aloud, but she's not really happy. She's not accepting you as the girl that you are born. You will not be able to really accept yourself. You'll need her love, but you will start somewhere unconsciously taking these feelings, and you will start trying to be, maybe unconsciously, the boy that she wanted. You will start doing a lot of things that a boy would have really done for the family. So somewhere, whatever her feelings, her eyes, everything that her being is showing to you, mirroring to you, you will start really taking all of that. And of course, apart from the mother, the next person is the father. So both the mother and father are important, my dear friends, but the mother is the number one, because really we have spent those 9 months in her womb. We are one with her body, and then in the first year also we are really taking ourselves as one with her. Now, this is something that happens in the first year of our life. After that, even when we start trying to separate, as we can start crawling and walking, when we become toddlers, that's the time we realize that, oh, I'm different and my mother is different. She is one body and I'm another body. I can walk away from her. And that's really the time that we start really asserting ourselves. We start saying, oh, I am me. I can do things differently. And that's really the beginning of our journey of trying to figure ourselves out. Now, coming to the next stage, which is the stage of 3 to 6, where we are really trying to understand and make sense of how this world is. My dear friends, what will happen is that we start now understanding the difference between a boy and a girl. If you have children in your house before this age, till the age of 2, very likely they don't know. The boys also want to put a bindi. The girls may also want to do all kinds of things. But beyond the age of 3 years, now suddenly the child realizes that the boy and the girl, there's a little difference. So there is a mother and there's a father and there's a marriage. So they start really observing and start seeing how the world is functioning. And from that, in their mind, they, as they're observing and also they're asking so many questions, they are also realizing how I will be. Now, when you're a woman, when you're a girl, you're seeing, oh, I will be like my mother. So there will be a marriage. A lot of the times we see that children at this stage are also talking about that I will get married to this person, I will become that way. So we are actually figuring out how we will be. So our mother is really our role model. So we are really automatically, what we feel as a child is we will become like our mother. We also form an inner script here, friends, at this point in time about how marriages are. So, if we are seeing a nice marriage between our parents, if we are seeing a beautiful relationship, then we know this is how we are going to have the relationship, and we automatically create that kind of relationship. In however, in case that this relationship that we are seeing is not a very healthy relationship, we do not know any other way. We have already taken that, yes, this is how relationships are. This imprinting is already also being carried in our mind, and this plays a role in creating how you will be as a woman, how your relationship will be, how your marriage will be. So, friends, this is an extremely important point for us to realize that a lot of imprinting has happened right up there. This imprinting is there in our unconscious. Now, a lot of this imprinting, what are the different areas that are there that we need to become aware of? How they were in marriages, how they were taking care of other people, what were the dynamics between father and mother. Was the father a very dominating person? Was the mother a very submissive person? What was really happening? Now, friends, working with a lot of women in the last so many years of my practice as I was working as the coach, what I realized is that a lot of this is happening in the unconscious. And there is this word, the othering, which Dr. Christian Northrup has coined. This is a very interesting term. Now, we all know that in last so many centuries, in this patriarchal system, most countries, most households, they wanted boys, right? The boy was the really wanted child. The girl was really treated as the second citizen. She was the second choice. A lot of the way that the men were treated as if they were the higher beings. Maybe not so much in India, but so many other countries. Also, the spiritual texts have, the religious texts have really, in some way, given that. We speak about the God. There they speak about Son of God. They don't talk about the goddess. Or we say that the man was created, and then for the man, the woman was created. Now, somewhere very unconsciously in all these texts that have been written, and yes, these have been written by the men, there has been a lot of political conditioning that was going around with that. These are not really truths. But what has happened is that somewhere we have assumed that the man is the higher and the woman is the lower. Okay. Or the man is the primary and the woman was the secondary. Now, of course, this is not the truth. And we have been fighting this in a sense, the feminist movement that has happened in the last couple of centuries. But what is important for us to understand, friend, is that we have to take the next step. As souls, we are neither a man nor a woman. We are all same, we are all equal. We all take births either as a woman or as a man. And when we are taking birth, as the body here, I have both the masculine and the feminine energy. I take from both my parents, from the father and the mother, and we take from the masculine, feminine from both of them. Okay, and both of them are there in us. So one of the disturbances, one of the wrong things that happened is that somewhere unconsciously we have believed that the man or the masculine is somewhere higher than the feminine. We need to remind ourselves that this is not the truth. Both are equal. The second thing, friends, that has happened is that polarization had happened in the last couple of centuries. So there were certain things, a man was told you're not supposed to do certain things, and a woman was told you're not supposed to do certain things. So education for so long was not given to the woman, freedom was not given to the woman. She was not supposed to laugh openly, she was not supposed to get angry. The man was not supposed to cry. When a man cried, He was told, are you a woman? Why you behaving like a woman? Why you crying like a woman? So in the conditioning, in the bringing up, right? And remember, like I said, we have forgotten our true nature. Now, as we are being taught, as we are hearing these things, we don't even know when this has happened, but we've started to believe that a woman is not supposed to do a certain kinds of things. She's not supposed to be a particular way, and the man is not supposed to be that way. So the polarization is another thing which was done in the last couple of centuries. Now, both these aspects are really not true. So, when we start really now embarking on the spiritual journey, and when we want to now live here on this plane as the true spiritual beings, as the true masters, as the true goddesses that we are, what is it that we need to do, my dear friends? We need to firstly start recognizing that we can also embrace the masculine. The men also need to embrace the feminine. This beautiful yin and yang symbol, where the black with the white dot represents the feminine having the masculine, and the man, which is the white, having the black dot, the feminine having the masculine. And friends, we are going to be complete individuated beings only when the black has the nice bold white dot and the white has the nice black dot, which means that we have embraced the opposite. The woman has also embraced the masculine. The man has also embraced the feminine. How do we do that? We do that in relationships. When we are in a marriage, when I'm in a marriage, my husband brings to me also the masculine. The other men in my life, they also help me embrace the masculine quality. So we really, our relationships really need to be supportive. We can also really start embracing the other aspect, the polarity of the quality also from that. But otherwise, also when we are just meditating, we start really recognizing that we are complete beings in ourselves. No other relationship from outside is required in that sense to complete us. There is also this myth that a woman has to be a mother to be complete. Nothing has to happen for you to be complete. You are complete in yourselves, and we need to really start embracing that. And the other aspect that we spoke about, othering, we need to start recognizing that we are really equals. So as we see this, really in the patriarchal system, the woman was always supposed to be looking outside. We were always looking for validation from the men of the family. You were okay if your father thought that you were okay, right? So somewhere it was the validation from outside, from the man um, in your life, who would tell you that yes, whatever it is, it's okay. So we need to really start recognizing that we need to start shifting that. Friends, for everybody, our primary relationship is with ourselves. So even for the woman, like in this othering that Dr. Christian Northrup says, the men were taught that they were the first, and then the woman was the secondary. But the woman, somewhere unconsciously, because of the conditioning, has believed that her husband or the man in their life has to be the first and she's the second. We have to recognize that for everybody, the primary relationship is with ourselves. When we heal this relationship with ourselves, when we become the complete beings, that's when things around start changing. And now, as we would all be adults here, right? What is important for us to recognize consciously that the couples, the man and the woman in this relationship, they are equals. One is not greater than the other. Now, when we say that, what does that imply? What does that mean in the relationship? Because, yes, in most marriages, in most of the cases where now people would be watching this, it is not that the man may be treating you as if you are anywhere less. But really, what happens? Where does this equality not come? Now, friends, any relationship, what really happens in a relationship, there is a give and take. Now, suppose Prana and me, okay? Now, a simple relationship where we've become friends, okay? Now, when Prana gives me something, I naturally feel like I should also give back something, right? Now, that makes me feel good. She also feels good, and there is this relationship which is forming. Now, she gives me a little more, I give her a little more, right? Now this relationship starts strengthening in this way. So in every relationship there's a give and take. So this give and take, and this is not of material, this is of love, of good words, of appreciation. It could be anything, but the relationship starts to form, and this relationship is always maintained when it's a relationship of equals. Now, if one just starts giving, 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 and the other is only receiving, 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 then there will be a lopsidedness, and this relationship will not be healthy. Now, what happens is that a lot of the times, in the way that the families have been, the way very likely we have seen our mothers, the mothers, the women are natural nurturers, they are givers, and they were also trained from the right from the childhood that yes, you have to take care of the family, you have to not only take care of the children but of the family, the in-laws, so you have to nurture everybody, and that is yes, by nature they are nurturers. If you see even a small girl child, right, even if she's 3 years old, 4 years old, and now she gets a younger brother, she will very likely be like, actually like a mother, right? She wants to take care of the child, she's a natural nurturer. So we need to acknowledge that fact. But what also happens is that she also needs to receive. If she's only giving, 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 which is what has happened in a lot of the traditional families, she was serving the family, she was also serving the man, and the man was really not serving the woman. If she's serving the family, what brings the balance in the giving receiving, she also needs to receive. So the husband actually needs to serve the woman. When they are getting married, both of them are energetically leaving their parents, they're becoming adults and they're leaving their parents. So the woman leaves the house, she serves the family, the man should ideally serve the woman. And this is what really makes the woman feel nurtured also. She also receives, and that is what really helps her. But a lot of the cases, this is not what has happened here. So very likely we have also unconsciously learned those things. Now, friends, when you recognize this, like I said, that we are creators of our reality, we recognize, we bring to light what may have happened, what may have been carried in your unconscious. But now need to start taking steps so that you also start feeling nurtured. So we need to really start making those changes first with ourselves. Like in every flight, they remind you this is the basic law, wear your own mask before you help the other. Now, this is really important, my dear friends. So, right now, even if we are not expecting that from tomorrow anything outside has to change, but we have to start really caring a little more about ourselves. We also need to start asking. A lot of the times the woman does not really know how to ask. That's how, because like I said, we have not seen our mothers very likely doing that. So we need to start asking. How do we recognize that? If our, we need to start paying attention to our body, my dear friends. So I'm just going to now leave you with some tips, I'm going to bring light in some areas so that we start paying attention to how we can actually better take care of ourselves. When we said we wear our own mask, how do we start doing that? So we start paying attention to our body. Our body is our friend. Traditionally, very likely a lot of women, now they have taken on so many roles. So they were the ones who were taking care of the house, of the children. Now we are also going and working out and taking care of a lot of other things, and we feel compelled to do all of that. And in the whole bargain, a lot of the times we see that women tend to come down with a lot of other kind of problems, a lot of psychosomatic problems, a lot of autoimmune problems like thyroid, like fibromyalgia. We need to understand that our body is our friend. If your body is already giving you some signals, start paying attention to your body. In your meditation, start connecting with your body and listen to what your body is saying. It could just be asking for a little more rest. It could be asking you to do something for it. Pay attention to it. That's the way that you start taking care of yourself. The other aspect is feelings. We need to pay attention to feelings. Friends, what are feelings? Feelings or emotions, a lot of the times, because what has happened is, as kids again, when we feel angry, when we feel sad, our feelings are negated. A adult would very likely say, there is no reason for you to be sad. Why are you sitting here sad, angry? There is no reason for you to be angry. And what happens is, because of this, we start somewhere doubting our own feelings, not paying attention to our feelings. Friends, what are feelings? Feelings show that whether our needs are being met or no. When our needs are met with, we all have needs. When our needs are met with, for example, if I need rest right now, and if I am not able to rest and I need to do something, it may happen that I may be a little irritated at that point in time. Or if I needed to go somewhere and I'm not able to go, I may be a little sad. So our feelings are showing us just about our needs. When we have our needs met, we have pleasant feelings. But when our needs have not been met with, we have unpleasant feelings. So we start also making friendship with our feelings. We start paying attention to it, and we start learning how to work with them, not against them. Our feelings, our emotions are not our enemy. Our body is not our enemy. So we need to also start learning to receive. Like I said, that we can also ask, we can also receive somewhere, because that's something that a lot of the times we have not really seen our mothers do. We feel that we can't receive. Okay. Now, friends, when I'm saying our mothers do, I am taking into account. So suppose there were 100 women working with me. In 90 cases, I saw that. So if you are not in that 90, which is very good, that's perfect. So, but we just recognize that most of the households, most of the mothers, most of the women have been living in that way with this patriarchal system. The other aspect, friends, is that as we are growing up further beyond the age of 3 to 6, where we start seeing how our mother is being. I'll give you here case studies. So there's a lady who saw that the father was very dominating, and the mother always had to just listen to the father. She used to be this quiet, she had to give in. Mother was obviously not happy, she was living scared, she was serving the in-laws. She used to, the only time that she could get away was, okay, she could go and work, and that work really gave her a little relief time, but she was at home really living like a the daughter thought the mother was really living like a victim. Now this child who's observing the mother, right? Now the child, we are almost like monkeys. We know that we will become like our father or mother. As children, that's what we think will happen, right? So what happens is that somewhere we also start judging. When we are doing that, when we are seeing how our father is, how our mother is, we start also saying, oh, this is not what I want in life, right? So this girl, what she said, I never want a father, a husband like my father. I don't want a man like this. So she also rejected the father, and she said, I'm never going to be submissive like my mother. I don't want to be like my mother. Now, when we start doing that energetically, we are rejecting our mother, we are rejecting our parents in this way. Now, when we are doing that, of course, there are qualities that we are also rejecting, and we are rejecting that nurturing energy that comes to us from the mother. And this has its deep impacts on us, my dear friends. So, we need to recognize as we have grown up. Okay. Now, this girl, this lady, now as she had grown up, she had become a very strong woman. But somewhere the the person who was there in her life, the husband was like a she called him a weak kind of a person. Now somewhere the relationship here had its own disturbances, and the husband found her extremely dominating, and she also developed physical issues. She had PCOD because also she was somewhere energetically rejecting the feminine energy. Now, friends, rejecting the feminine is something that has happened very commonly. This divine feminine movement that we are talking about is really about that. That as we have also judged the feminine as the weak, a lot of the case, it's not only the man who have kind of rejected the feminine, but even the women. They said, okay, we will become like the strong ones. We will become like the men in trying to fight the men. We have also said we've become like them, but we've rejected the feminine qualities, those beautiful qualities which actually have such beautiful essence, that nurturance, that caring part, that heart aspect, that heart element, which is connected to the feminine energy. The being element, the masculine is about doing and the feminine is about being. So when we start rejecting anything in our mother, when we start rejecting how our mother is, and when we start judging the feminine qualities, when we start actually wanting to be like the man, right, we are rejecting the feminine, and we start rejecting a lot of the feminine power, a lot of the feminine energy as well, and that has its implications. So I would like you all to kind of pay attention to that, okay, before we really go ahead. What we can do, my dear friends, is you can just right now maybe close your eyes and just remind yourself of any one significant memory that comes to you of your childhood, maybe the age of around 5, 6 years, or maybe a little younger. And just see yourself in the presence of your mother. Just see how you are feeling about her. How do you see your mother? How do you see her dealing with your father? How's the relationship between your mother and father? How is she? Can she be herself? Can she speak for herself? How is their relationship? How does she do things in the house and around? What do you see? Do you judge her as an angry person? What are the qualities that you notice in her? Do you judge any of the qualities? Do you accept her for the person she is? Or do you reject her as a person? Do you reject certain qualities? Just become aware about it, my dear friends. And as you become aware about it, I want you to also now pay attention to how you are as a woman. What are the things, what are the aspects where you are just like her? What are the aspects where you're exactly the opposite? That's wonderful, my dear friends. As you just make a mental note of it, if you like, you can also just write it down. Friends, it's important for us to know, like we said, that we are conscious creators. Now we need to pay attention to this element and what will really help us healing. We cannot fight anybody. Now, fighting anybody is really not going to heal us. Neither are the men our enemies, right? They are a part of exactly the same system. They are victims of the same system. They have also been brought up in the same households. They have also been mirrored the similar kind of things. They have believed that that's how the way of functioning is. So we need to start embracing our own power. We need to start loving and respecting ourselves as the woman, and we need to also start really embracing the system and definitely making the changes in our own lives as we need to do. For us to do that, firstly, recognize we don't have to fight anybody else outside. Yes, we need to heal ourselves. The second aspect, so in healing ourselves, of course, one important thing is, my dear friends, the inner child healing. The second important thing, as we did this process right now, what you need to tell yourself is that it's okay for you to love your mother. We don't have to reject our mother. We don't have to hate our mother, but we do not have to be also like her. So, what is important? How do we heal our relationship with our mother? Friends, as a woman, for us to really heal the relationship with the feminine, the most significant relationship that we need to heal is the relationship with our mother. And how do we heal that? We really accept her as she is. Now, this, of course, is a easier, like when I'm telling you, it's a one-step thing, but it's a very deep process. And I'm just here encouraging you to start on that journey. So we need to really start paying attention to how we feel. Very likely, my dear friends, like I said, that because we were in the womb, we have also carried her pain. Maybe when you saw her pain, maybe you also started feeling the pain. The very first pain that a child knows is the pain of the mother, because we are not really seeing it as separate. When our mother feels any pain, we feel that pain. So every child wants to help their mother. And we are really trying to do as a child so many things so that our mother becomes happy. But we need to, as adults, now recognize that yes, we may have carried that pain within us. We need to heal that pain. But also, we need to accept that our mother is big and we are small. And we cannot do anything to help our mother. The only thing that we can do is heal ourselves. And probably that may help the mother. She will be happier seeing you happy if you become happy. But otherwise, you cannot really change anything in her life. So we need to really see her journey. We need to accept her and accept that that was her destiny. When we see any qualities, if you're rejecting your mother, if you're rejecting any of the qualities, that judgment does not really help you. So we need to really accept her, heal the pain that you may have carried, and then give yourself the permission to be different. The reason is we don't accept her, we reject her, we judge her because we are scared will become like that. If this child does not say, I never want to be like her, the child is actually scared that I will have the same kind of marriage, I will have the same kind of suffering that my mother is having. So, somewhere the child's fear, the child's wound, the child's pain makes her reject the mother. So, what will help us to heal is to accept the mother, accept her journey, and give ourselves the freedom to be not the mother. We can be different. These are significant steps, my dear friends, and it's good to really start taking those steps. How do we also recognize when I say the pain that we are carrying? All of us are carrying a lot of pain with all this journey, all our past. Friends, our hormones, when we have PMS, when also there is new moon, full moon, where we say that, stuff starts to come out. All this stuff is from the unconscious. So our hormones also really help us to cleanse. So before the cycles, when our hormones are really bringing up stuff, any mental patterns that you may start noticing, they are bringing up stuff from the unconscious. So start paying attention to your own feelings, as I said, your own body that we spoke about before, also your thought patterns, any beliefs that you're carrying. And we can now start saying goodbye to any of those beliefs, any of those thought patterns, any of those feelings which are not empowering. We can start turning them around. Okay, so our hormones, or when we say also PMS, sometimes we feel that, oh, that's the worst time. Really take that time as the best time. They are really telling you about what is there in your unconscious. And that is what we can actually start paying attention to. So, friends, we are going to be doing a meditation now at this stage. I'm just going to see if I have missed out anything. But before we do the meditation, in case there are any questions that we would like to take on, I'm happy to do that at this stage. So, Prana, in case there are any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen at the moment. Oh, so many beautiful friends have joined us here. I can now, as I put off the screen, I can see some beautiful people here. Friends, if anybody wants to put on their camera, if anybody has any questions, you can put your questions here as well.
So, my dear friends, you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you, or you can just type it in the chat window. And friends who are seeing on YouTube, you can even type the question there and we'll read it for Preeti ma'am.
Before any question is coming, I will just, one of the points that I realized that I did not mention earlier. Friends, as women, a lot of the times, what is important, what we see missing also, is that we don't love and respect ourselves as women. Because in the system, where everybody wanted a boy, even though they may have now given us a lot of love as the girl child, but if they still wanted the boy, if the boy was the more precious, now somewhere the mother herself and the ladies themselves are not loving and respecting themselves as women. How can they, when the man is the more important? They don't really, they're not equal and they don't respect themselves. Somewhere that's also something that we also take from that. And hence in our lives, the important element that we see is that now we can love and respect ourselves only for what we do. That's the very common thing. Like we said, that the masculine energy is about doing and the feminine is about being. So one of the things that I also want you to pay attention to is, do you really love yourself for who you are? If you were not doing those things that you're doing, do you still love yourself? Do you respect yourself? Do you respect yourself for being the woman that you are? Yes, thank you, Bhavya. Yes, you can ask your question.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I have a doubt. Like during the pregnancy, even the mother can feel when she was in her mother's womb, the same feelings can she feel during the pregnancy, ma'am?
Yes,
During
so
her pregnancy.
it can happen. It can happen. It's very commonly seen that all that happens during our birth trauma, as they call it, that gets activated during our when we are giving birth to the child. So our birth trauma gets activated at that point in time. And yes, the hormones may actually bring up that. We spoke about needs. A lot of our needs, Bhavya, are not met with. When
Yes.
we say inner child healing is important, because there are so many emotional needs that every child has. And the parents may have done their best, but a lot of the emotional needs have not been met with. Now, when you are going to have a baby and when your own needs are not met with, that will also get triggered. So, all your unmet needs, all the hormones will really bring up a lot of stuff, a lot of issues which are unhealed. Yes, and that may happen that everything that you sensed there will get activated here.
Yeah,
So,
ma'am.
that's
And during this pregnancy time, until now, and my baby is now 8 months old, and during this, from the time of pregnancy till this till 8 month, and all this can be cleared. Because of the hormonal changes or because of my stuff, I would have felt anger or frustrated or so many things I would have gone through. Though I
yes.
have maintained very good thing, but this I have both sides. I have this negative side also. I have, so I can do this rebirthing, right? I can go there and relive there.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that
So
possible, ma'am?
rebirthing is very, very helpful. You can
Okay.
clear your stuff, Bhavya. And as you clear your stuff, it starts also helping your child. When we
Uh,
have cleared our birth trauma, that's what really helps our child not to absorb it. And once you
okay.
clear it, you can also breathe with the child. Okay.
Okay.
And that's what really helps for the child also to clear the birth trauma.
And for this, I can even do
Yeah,
this
so that's
regression
a
also,
beautiful
ma'am.
technique. And
Even
yes,
I
you
can
can
do this
definitely
regression.
do that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavya.
Preeti ma'am, someone is asking, can this process be done if the mother is deceased?
If
If
the
she's,
mother is
if she's
deceased,
no
yes,
longer living, yeah.
yes. Energetically, friends, we are still connected. Even if your mother is not there, you can still do the process. We are, the feminine energy in us. Like I said, we take the masculine, feminine from both our parents, right? So we are carrying that energy in our body from the mother, right? So when you do the meditation, when you heal the relationship with your mother, you're healing firstly within your energy system, and that also impacts your mother even if she's deceased. The change, the quantum energy really also takes a lot of the beautiful changes in our family system as well. So definitely you can do this.
Thank you, ma'am. And there are some comments saying awesome session and makes perfect sense. Thank you so much. Totally agree with what you said, ma'am. And there are a few other comments like thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you. There's also okay.
Are there any private questions, ma'am?
Yes,
Because
there's a private question. So I'm not going to name the person, but if it's okay, I'm going to just take the question. Okay. So she's asking about rape victims. Okay. Now, what would really be the phase that they would be passing through? So, friends, any kind of sexual abuse, rape, is definitely a very deep violation, and that definitely needs healing. And of course, when we say that, the healing aspect, uh, that kind of pain, that kind of shock, our body really goes into a shock. And apart from just kind of facing the shame or whatever in the system, but really letting ourselves heal from that requires definitely a lot of deeper work. So if anybody has any of those kind of things, I would highly recommend to work closely with a therapist to really, because when you're doing that, right, there is somebody who's holding the space for you. That space which is so safe, loving, helps you to really open up. Because when you've been violated, it's like the whole thing is so unsafe. We also kind of are not able to it contracts our energy system, right? So we are not able to really open up, and the presence of another person also helps you to really heal from that in a big way. So definitely that is a very deep work, and they also definitely can heal from that. We have seen so many courageous people. So at Quantum Life University, where Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi have been really holding the space, and so many of us trained by them are really doing the work. We've seen so many courageous women really, come out from so many of these traumas. So sexual abuse, rape, yes, you can heal it. One of the things that I want to mention to you now, I saw a past life where there was a rape, and I was carrying so much shame. Okay, with that, the shame element is the biggest thing that really stops us from approaching somebody. Now, what happens is that when I saw that life, I saw that I never really went back to my parents. I kind of, that the person really put me in the river, and I just lived in some other place, acting as if I had lost my memory. Now, this happened because it was so shameful. The words that have been used, friends. Now, when we say unconscious conditioning, this conditioning also happens from our movies, from the dialogues that we say, from the words that we hear from other people, right? Now, I kind of realized that I was in India in a village, and how they would say at that point in time, ladki ki izzat lut gayi. And if the girl would go home, they would say her respect is gone. So in English, it is her respect is gone, izzat lut gayi. And now when I actually healed from that, when I relived that past life and I came from that, I said, This is so ridiculous, because I was just a young girl. I was probably about 12, 13 years old and just a child. Now, why should one say that the girl lost the respect? It's actually the man who should lose the respect, who's violated, right? But we are not really, the victim is also made to feel as if there's something wrong that has happened with you. So, whoever has gone through this, I would really encourage everybody to recognize that it is not your fault, that we really need to come out of that shame aspect, and we really need to take help, receive help. You deserve to heal from that. You deserve freedom from that pain, and you can live a different life. You can create that for yourself. So, thank you so much for bringing up that beautiful thing.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. It was very wonderfully said, because a lot of people, they'll not be able to share what has happened with them, especially with the sexual abuse. So also we are planning some healing sexual abuse sessions in the future. Same like relationship wisdom, we are planning a 11-day sexual abuse session. So
Excellent. Excellent. That is so good, Prana. And that would be such a beautiful platform, when actually somebody can speak about it. Just in the process of doing that, you have to leave the shame. Otherwise, with the shame, we automatically feel that there's something wrong with us. So the fact that you speak about it and then heal from it, that really is a huge, bold step and milestone in their life. So glad that you're doing that.
and as you mentioned about your past life, where you did not even, you acted as if the memory has lost. So a lot of people who spoke with me about the sexual abuse, they are really not able to accept that have happened. So they just act as if it hasn't happened, or it is just a dream. So they just mask everything as if it did not
Yes,
happen. But
exactly.
deep down, they are very hurt. So
Exactly. And I would like to also say this to parents. Sorry, Prana, I thought you stopped speaking. Were you still speaking?
no, no, please go ahead. Yeah.
So
Yes.
so also working with a lot of parents, uh, it also has to do with how the parents deal with it. A lot of the cases where, when I've been doing working with women, I realize that when the child goes and says that somebody maybe from the family or somebody from the neighborhood touched them in an inappropriate way, in most cases the mother said, shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, so she did not really do anything about it with the person. Maybe the family person in the house still kept living. The abuse probably kept going on as well. But somewhere, because the mother said that don't tell this to anybody, now the child felt like as if there's something wrong that maybe I'm doing. The mother is really not doing anything about it. So it's a very significant thing that, also as parents we recognize that it's not the child's fault, and we have to really kind of speak up for the child. How we deal with this sensitive issue is so important. So yes, I'm glad that you're doing that, Prana.
True. And also, I would like to invite you when we start the session. We'll let you know if you're free. It will be great if you can come and talk on that as well. Yeah,
Sure,
thank
Prana. Sure,
you.
Prana.
Go
And
ahead with that.
there is another direct question of somebody who's saying from PCOD. So, friends, again with PCOD, so we are seeing a lot of who, like where now women are also go getters, right? Now, what has happened is we have said, okay, women are no less. So, yes, we are equal to man. And we are, every exam you see, oh, women, the girls have done so well. And in the corporate, the women are really doing. Now, what's happened is that somewhere this whole system of patriarchy, where we saw, yes, it has happened that the men have dominated the women, right? Now when we said, okay, they've dominated, so we thought as if, yes, they are higher and we are lower. And we said, okay, no, I'm not lower and I want to become, equal. And when we said we want to become equal, now what is it? Our reference is them. So we've become like them. We've actually taken on the masculine qualities, but because we've been angry that I don't want to be like this, so I'm not this, and everything that has been we judged as less, we have rejected the feminine energy. Now, Osho used to say that If you're fighting somebody, you become like that person. So when we are fighting the men in our mind, right, we become like them, and we've rejected the feminine. And this hormonal disturbance is what is really affecting a lot of the women bodies. So PCOD, PCOS, a lot of these disturbances are coming out of this. Now we need to recognize that originally this was wrong. Or we are, of course we are equals, but we don't have to become equals by becoming like them. We have to become ourselves. We have to be the woman that we are. We are different. We are not made like the men. We are different, and we need to really love and respect ourselves as the way we were made. So really start paying attention to your own self. Start seeing how is it, are we angry at the men? What is the internal conversation that goes on? And this is a very significant healing journey that you can really take on. So like I said, that our body is our friend, our illness is our friend. Your PCOD is telling you some disturbance that is happening here, and you need to just pay attention to that, and you can definitely heal from that. So, Prana, are there any other questions by any chance on the YouTube
Yes,
that I
ma'am.
may see? Yes. Can you please read them?
Some questions on YouTube. So someone says, I had two married boys. I want to know how to manage with them because still they, mom is correct, but now their views change according to their age, isn't it? I'm always with them, but now that changed. Simple tips to manage.
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, whether boys or girls, right? Somewhere, if we understand that, yes, the mom is correct for the child, right? Mom is the god for the child in the first couple of years, because for every child the parents are the gods. They don't know any other gods. It's only the parent who introduces them to the other god. But the journey, as we are living in the river of life, right? So we have come through our parents, our children come through us. Now when they are coming through us, they will pass on. They need to be passing on this life to others, to their children, right? And we are all in the service of life. So every child will think that yes, the parents are god, but ultimately we are all here for our own growth as well. So we start becoming individuated people, right? What is healthy is that we start becoming our own individuals. When we are saying that, in that there is no disrespect. We obviously always respect and recognize what the parents have done. However, we do not become like them. Like we spoke in the previous thing, we don't have to be like them. Whatever they're saying does not have to be what we have to do always. We can do what we would like to do. We can make our own choices. And this is extremely important. Now, through the time that the child is born, right from the infancy through to the adulthood, the child goes through different phases of separation, different phases of individuation. So they'll become their own individual person, and gradual separation needs to happen. So yes, ideally a mother should be happy now when they can just be themselves, and they can have their own views. Every generation, friends, each generation creates their own boundaries. Every next generation will extend those boundaries, so they will do things that the parents may not like, and they do extend their boundaries. As parents, of course, what's the best thing that we can give them is give them all the wisdom and the courage to make their choices, to be healthy and live their life well, and we can bless them for that. But definitely every child will make their own choices. So it's important, if as parents we really remind ourselves of that, that we need to let our child really go and live their life. We need to let them free. Now in a lot of cases, this has been traditionally done for girls, where we said she will go into another house. Right from the childhood, we've reminded, right from the time that the girl is born, we've reminded her that, okay, you will go into another house. So we've reminded ourselves that she will separate. But a lot of the cases, in the case of a boy child, we have not done that. So what we commonly see is that we think that the boy should remain with us, and the mother is very attached to the boy. Now this is also somewhere happened as mothers, because somewhere we were restricted, we were told our job is only to take care. We have not been really nurtured, and we were nurturing, and we became now our being has really become around the kids, right? So when kids actually start separating from us, we start feeling empty also. So it's important that we acknowledge that, and we recognize it and we heal. So it's not that we should try to stop them. When we let them free, when we have given them all that we can and we let them free, they will kind of obviously be with us. They will care for us. So every child obviously needs to care for their parents, and that's a very natural thing. That balance of giving and taking, giving and receiving. Obviously, when you've given so much, they will want to serve you, but not expecting that they will kind of always listen to you, or whatever that you're saying will be right for them. So this little difference that I see also when we do this conscious parenting workshop, we talk about this. Because yes, as working with some parents, there was this one very wise parent. She had a male child, and she thought that she was really kind of very encouraging. She let the child go abroad and study, but when she was actually doing a session, she realized how energetically she was wanting to hold on to the child. And she said, this Hindi movie dialogue, Ja Simran Ja, is something that every parent, like how you remember you have to tell this to your child, every parent should kind of remember that, yes, we have to say that, yes, go, you just fly your own life now. And so that's something that maybe some of the tips that may be helpful for you.
Wonderful, Dr. Preeti. Very nice, nicely said. Amazing tips, because a lot of mothers, as you mentioned, they hold on to their kids. So very beautiful tips. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, friends. Friends, are we ready now for the meditation? Are the questions done? Or,
Yes, the
yeah,
questions. Yeah.
excellent. Uh, so, friends, I'm doing this workshop, this meditation. Now, as if there are, assuming that there are mostly women here, because that's what I'm seeing. But even if you are a man, okay, you can be doing this meditation. Remember, there is a feminine energy in you, and you can embrace that in you also. Okay, so you can just take a comfortable posture, my dear friends. Close your eyes. As you close your eyes, take a couple of long and deep breaths. Be with your breath now, observing your breath, the natural incoming and outgoing breath. Come into the moment. Bring all of yourself into this moment, to the body, and allow yourself to be in a very relaxed state. At this point in time, in this relaxed state, I'd like you to visualize or feel yourself in a beautiful place of nature. A place of nature of your own choice, my dear friends. This place is going to be like your personal healing sanctuary. Put yourself there, feel yourself there. Pay attention to the beautiful elements of nature that are there around. Maybe to the touch of the grass that you may be feeling under your feet. maybe to the beautiful colors that you may be seeing around, the gentle breeze, the sunshine that may be touching your face, your hands. Wherever you are, this is your personal healing sanctuary, and you are in touch with Mother Earth. The Mother Earth, which is our big mother, the mother which is providing things for your physical experience, this life on Mother Earth. All your needs taken care of. Let yourself feel deeper and deeper relaxed states, deeper and deeper connection with the Mother Earth. At this point in time, as you're completely relaxed, feeling a deep nurturance from the Mother Earth, you may want to lie down for a bit, or you may just be walking. As you feel completely relaxed, completely safe, you are now going to meet your mother. Start taking a walk. As you're taking a walk at a little distance outside a beautiful temple, a small, beautiful temple you are able to see now. Outside this temple, you see your mother standing. Go close to your mother. If you feel okay, you can go to her just like a child. Maybe go on your knees. Visualize that you're becoming a child now in front of her. Look into her eyes. Eyes are the windows of the soul. As you see her eyes, you see her journey in her eyes. You may sense some of the pain that she was carrying. And maybe you felt that same pain. Maybe you carried that pain. Let yourself see that pain and feel that pain if you also carried it. It is okay if tears are coming. Allow them to come. Allow yourself to just be and feel what you're feeling. And as you feel what you're feeling, if you're able to see her pain, you can acknowledge that and you can tell her, Mama, I'm just your little child. I wanted to help you, but I now see that you are big and I'm small. Recognize if you have been judging her. Recognize if you were not accepting her. Acknowledge that to yourself and bow down to her. We are too small to understand our mother's journey. We were just a little child. We could not have really understood her strengths, her journey, her story, her reasons for doing what she was doing. Bow down to her. And in that bow downing, you are now acknowledging that you were being arrogant, you were becoming too big. Become the child now. Tell her, Mama, you are big, you are the mother. I'm only your little child. Please forgive me that I judged you. As you accept her, as you bow down to her, you also give yourself the permission to be different. You also take her blessings, you take her strengths. When you reject her strengths as well. Let yourself take her into your heart completely. You can tell her, Mama, I love you, but I can be different from you. Please bless me if I have the courage to live differently. And as you do that, you can now receive her blessings. She's blessing you to now be the woman who loves herself, who respects herself. If you are a man, she's blessing you to embrace the feminine energy in you. You can embrace this beautiful, sensitive energy. And with her blessings now, she's telling you to enter the temple, the small temple which is waiting for you. As you enter the small temple, you see energy, light, or an idol in front of you, which is of a goddess energy. It doesn't have to be a particular name, or it could be just somebody that you connect to. Could be Mahalakshmi, it could be Mother Mary, it could be Sita Mata, or it could just be light. Energy that is waiting for you. This divine feminine energy, you can now embrace. You can now go and sit there. Either you sit in the presence of the light, or if you're seeing a deity, if you're seeing Mother Mary, Sita Mata, you can just go. She's inviting you to sit in her lap. You can be the child. You are the child of this divine mother. You are divine. Embrace this divine feminine energy in you. As you just be here in her lap, allow yourself to be showered with her blessings, with this energy. And embrace the blessings, embrace the strength that this divine feminine brings to you. Feel yourself there. Let yourself receive this beautiful energy. Open yourself up more and more, reminding yourself you are the daughter or the son of this divine feminine. You have all these beautiful qualities and you can now receive them, embrace them. Give yourself the permission to be different. Give yourself the permission to be you. Anchor these beautiful blessings, that beautiful strength, that gift that you're receiving from the divine feminine. Anchor it in your body. With 3 long and deep breaths, you may anchor it in your body. You may put your hand on your heart if you like to remind yourself of this divine nature of yours. You can recognize the strength that you're now receiving from the divine feminine mother. Embracing this. You're going to come out of this temple as the new you. Feel yourself now coming out of the temple, receiving these beautiful blessings. You're coming out of the temple and you pass through your mother once again, receiving her blessings. Moving into the healing sanctuary, the nature place once again. You can just be there, connecting to nature, anchoring this feeling deep in yourself. Whenever you connect back to this healing sanctuary, this nature place, whenever you come back to this temple, you will be immediately connected to this divine nature of yours, this beautiful quality, this strength that you have now received. Just another 1 minute. We're going to come back, my dear friends, bringing this new you. You can start bringing all your awareness now to your breath. Bring all your awareness back to the present moment, to your body, to the room that you are seated. Taking 3 long and deep breaths once again. Rub your palms together. Slowly cover your eyes and then open your eyes. And welcome back. Welcome back, dear friends. That's beautiful, friends. Friends, anybody would like to share their experience, or otherwise, then we can end the session. Anybody who's keen to share their experience?
Thank you so much, Preeti. Though it was a very short meditation, it was very intense. Actually, tears were flowing down my eyes. So it was very intense. Thank you so much for that. So, my dear
Thank
friends,
you, Prana.
uh, my dear friends, if anyone would like to share your experience, you can just raise your hand or put it in the chat window. Mm, someone is saying, wonderful process, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session and wonderful message.
Thank you.
Wonderful message from Madhuri. Sorry, wonderful session.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, it was truly amazing, actually. And today you beautifully explained about the relationship with mother and also patiently answered all the questions in detail. And the meditation was really amazing. It was very intense for me personally. So it was amazing. Mm.
Thank you. Friends, okay, somebody's asking for my phone number. Vidhi, if she's there, otherwise, I'll just, Prana, if you can share my number with them.
Okay.
And also, at the end of it, I forgot to just share. Um,
Maybe you
so
can share
we also have put certain meditations, my dear friends, on our YouTube channel. So if you could subscribe. So there is the healing your inner child meditation, heal your body, transforming emotions. There are a couple of meditations in case you would like to use any of the guided meditations. So,
And as you can see on the screen, I think Preeti ma'am's number is already shared on
okay.
the
So I
screen.
think that was Vidhi's number. That was my colleague's number probably there.
Okay.
But I can just actually type it here. I can just use
Vidhi
my
has typed it here. Vidhi has shared it. So, my dear friends, just check it out in the chat window. Vidhi has shared
excellent.
Preeti
Thank you
ma'am's.
so much, Vidhi. Brilliant.
And Suma
Thank
is
you
saying,
so much, Prana.
energies are wonderful and wonderful session. Thank you so much. It was great session and so many thank yous in YouTube and here as well. And truly, it was an amazing session, Dr. Preeti. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
And
you, Prana, for this beautiful work that you're doing and for letting me be part of it. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, my dear friends. So we'll meet again tomorrow at same time, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we are having a new speaker. So they'll be sharing about again a new concept of relationship. We'll share the flyer. We'll share all the information in our groups. Thank you all so much and stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
Uh,
bye.
yeah, thank you. Actually, before leaving, if anyone has missed a thing, I just want to play the promo so you guys can just see our 12 days full promo. Uh, yeah, that's all. I just want to play a promo before ending our session so that everyone knows if anyone has